Greetings, everyone. This is the African Exodus show, and this segment is Set Apart. Right now, I am in my kitchen. I wanted to do this segment at nighttime because this is my nightly routine. It's been my routine since I've been in Ghana, and that is to eat a bulb of garlic every night. Now, I wanted to do it at nighttime, but it's daytime because I was too tired last night, but it's okay. We can set the mood being that it's late at night, my kids are asleep, husband's probably asleep, and I want to take a bulb of garlic basically for the health reasons. Now, what I do basically every night is you always crush your garlic, and crushing it also helps the bulb be a lot more easier to peel. This one's growing a little bit because it's a little bit old. It's been in the fridge for a while, but it will still be fine. And essentially what you do is cut it, and I cube it very small because I basically want to swallow everything whole. And then I put it inside of a cup that I'm going to drink out of, and it might be this cup. Basically put the garlic in, I add a little bit of water, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes because you want it to sit for 10 minutes for a compound known as allicin to basically develop. Now you might be saying, Tierney, why do you take garlic? Why did you randomly start taking garlic when you came to Ghana? There's a lot of benefits of garlic. I'll list some on the screen. The big ones for me was that, number one, it helps with your digestion. Another one is that it is antibacterial. Now, this actually was very important for me at different points where I've dealt with having certain infections and no medicine was working, because one thing that you should know about antibiotics is that antibiotics will not just kill bad bacteria, but it will also kill good bacteria. And so I actually discovered garlic pills, whenever I was in the US, and that was one of the things that actually helped me way more than antibiotics, because it doesn't kill your bad bacteria. You still have, or your good bacteria. You still have your good bacteria, and your bad bacteria is killed. So that was something that I figured out on my own just by experimenting and looking on things on the internet. But now, really not just antibacterial, antifungal, also something like mosquitoes. That's something that I had dealt with when we first came here, is that I got bit up all over, like the second night we were staying at our house. And I basically started doing garlic, and I haven't had a lot of mosquito bites. I don't know if I've had any. I haven't noticed any. So these are just some benefits. There's so many more. Like I said, I'll list them on the screen. And the reason why I want to advocate this to you is because there's many remedies that are put out there for us, many things that we're told that this is the best way to take care of your body, but a lot of times we're not looking in nature. So actually, let's go to a video where I'm going to talk about the origin of Western medicine and why we have to instead go back to looking for natural medicine. After that video, I'm going to give you all a recipe for cough medicine that I think would be useful to you.
The Rockefeller family have been major influencers of the scientific and medical community. John D. Rockefeller is known as the father of modern medicine, for those who look deeper than what they are mind-controlled to know. With his deep pockets, he exerted his control. So before we talk about the present and what they currently show on this website, let's go a century back. Let's talk about modern Western medicine. What medicine is like today is not what it was like centuries ago. Doctors used to practice healing through the natural. Our Father created a world that has the natural resources that were able to give us what our bodies needed to heal.
That is an important aspect, I think, whenever you are talking to people who want to defend the modern medicine and say, well, God created modern medicine. Well, no, y'all actually created the herbs and the earth and things that are actually there for us, things that we don't have to do chemical combustions in order to create. This is what he created. So if he created this, then what is this alternative to his creation that we're told is more perfect? Many of which has many side effects and things that we could kind of figure out is probably not the best option, but because we're told this is what's best, we'll just go with it. So let's listen some more.
Natural and herbal medicines were very popular in America during the early 1900s. Almost one half the medical colleges and doctors in America were practicing holistic medicine, using extensive knowledge from Europe and Native American traditions. But in the 20th century, all that changed. John D. Rockefeller, the wealthiest man in the history of America, was a huge proponent of this change, and most people don't even know of his influence. Most people don't even know of him. By the turn of the 20th century, Rockefeller controlled 90% of all petroleum refineries in America through ownership of his company, Standard Oil Corporation. His company, Standard Oil, was later split into smaller companies, Mobil, Chevron, Exxon, etc., making the family even wealthier. In the beginning of the 20th century, the 1900s, the science world was getting excited about new petrochemicals and the ability to create a variety of new compounds from oil. Some of the first products derived from petrochemicals were plastics, but organic chemists knew that oil had the potential to create far more than plastic bags.
This is a very important aspect because one thing, first of all, I didn't know this at all. I don't know if you knew that plastic came from oil. But if you look at what's happening as far as a lot of people who are getting negative health effects basically from simple things like using plastics, these things are not something that's naturally created for us. These are things that man created inside of a lab. So whenever you think of something like heated plastic that gets into your food or into your water, this is the origins, basically, the fact that you can turn oil into something like plastic.
With all the research done, it was found that drugs could be produced from petroleum. So the world's top oil man, who controlled the petroleum market, decided to use his influence to change the medical industry. In the early 1900s, there were a variety of doctors and healing methods in America. Some of the medical specialties included chiropractic, naturopathy, homeopathy, holistic medicine, and herbal medicine. To eliminate the competition, Rockefeller used his massive wealth and influence and changed the game. Rockefeller purchased part of the German pharmaceutical company IG Farben. You can look up this company's involvement in World War II. There's a lot to say about them. They're now known as Bayer. He hired a contractor named Abraham.
This is just a lot to me to be emphasized. I'm sorry I keep breaking this up, but this is a very important aspect of the fact that, number one, our medicine became something for profit. Our medicine became something that needed to eliminate competition. And if you think about the medical pharmaceutical industry today, most of us are willing to admit that the pharmaceutical industry is completely corrupt, but we're not willing to admit that the whole idea of having medicine as something as a part of a market, as opposed to something that anyone can access literally from nature, that whole change, or the change of the dialogue, has really played into the hands of these pharmaceuticalists and also of these doctors, different entities that are using this as a way to gain capital. So when you think or you want to defend modern medicine or Western medicine, ask yourself, can you separate Western medicine from capitalism? Can you separate Western medicine from the idea of having markets and competition with each other, not looking out for your health, but looking out for what they could get out of you basically having a health issue?
Abraham Flexner, and Flexner submitted a report to Congress in 1910. This is known as the Flexner Report. This report concluded that there were too many doctors and medical schools in America, and that all the natural healing methods which had existed for hundreds of years were now unscientific quackery. Medicines used for thousands of years were now classified as alternative, and the new petroleum-based patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. And then, gaining more control, Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association. And through that report that Abraham Flexner submitted to Congress, he called for a standardization of medical information. Based on the report, Congress acted upon Flexner's recommendations and changed laws related to medical practice. With these legal changes in place, Rockefeller teamed up with Andrew Carnegie and started funding medical schools all over America on the strict condition that they only taught their curriculum. The medicine that he was in control of was now the standard of medicine. Through the power of their huge grants, This powerful team systematically dismantled the previous curriculum of these medical schools, removing any mention of the healing power of herbs or natural treatments. Teachings on diet and other natural, non-drug treatments were also completely removed from medical programs. Any mention of their healing power was erased from the medical textbooks. Medicine was changed from wellness and prevention to simply treatment. You're ill? Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. We were moved from using the solutions Father gave us to heal us
and that is essential. And this is why we're going to talk about this today. As far as why we need alternative medicine, or really the true word holistic medicine, forgive me for even saying alternative medicine, why we need holistic medicine is because the medical industry as it exists was not for us. It was for profit. It was for empowering institutions that were not there for us, but were there to basically have a monopoly on information. It's not things that we want to promote. So if we're actually looking to be separate and set apart, can we simply go with buying certain things when we know that there are alternatives in nature, and we know that there are better options inside of nature, things that actually were created for us? While you basically want to go automatically to a man to get your health taken care of, go to a man to take care of your issues. Here you are with all these options created by Yah that you could just easily access. So this is why I would really advocate that the idea of medicine, holistic medicine, things we can find in nature being something that we should focus on and try to seek out is something that is absolutely detrimental to us if we can't do it now while we still have time to do that research. And if we don't do it, we're going to basically be inside of a situation where we're dependent on a system that does not love us to give us medicine that's not even for our own good. Okay, everyone, this is the recipe I'm going to show you. Very easy, very simple. This is a cough medicine recipe. It's not cough season. It's not cold season right now. And even here in Ghana, I'm not even going to make it in front of you because I'm not of the impression that I'll have a cold anytime soon. But I'm going to give this to you. Maybe if you start feeling something coming on, this is something you can do that is natural and a very good way to take care of any issues you're having. So all you really need is 3 bulbs of garlic, and an onion, and some raw natural honey. And literally, I'll show you all 3 together. Literally, all you're going to do is you're going to dice up the garlic and put it into a jar. This is a mason jar. And you dice up the onion, you put that into a jar, and you add 1 cup of honey. You let it sit for, they say, about 15 hours. So this is something that you're not going to do instantly, but just let it sit for a little bit. Let it basically resonate, and all of these antibacterial properties will be available to you. Both garlic, onion, and honey have much natural remedies that are very helpful to people who are sick. So I hope that's just an easy, quick tip. If something were to happen, you don't have access to your medical store or your pharmacy, look inside of nature, look at your local market, and make your own medicines, because you have to know how to take care of your body without any help from anyone else.